Hey there, this is Russ. I've always thought stories in video games can be amazing, but many games don't do it well. A lot of the modern AAA experiences use cutscenes for storytelling, which can work, but often leads to the stories feeling disconnected from the game. Having the freedom of an interactive media juxtaposed to the linearity of movie-like storytelling is often extremely jarring, and even if the gameplay and or story is amazing, the combination of two radically different mediums often negatively affects the end product. In order to combat this problem, I have decided to write the story for my game, Rogue Rage, in a more open interpretation style. Many events will occur within the game, but it will be up to the player to imagine the backstories of the characters involved, the reasons for the events, etc. In order to inspire that creativity, there will be many environmental cues for the players to build upon in order to create a more personalized feel for the game. For example, if you were to invade an enemy airship, you may find the captain's quarters with pictures and trinkets that show the type of person that the captain is, while not explicitly telling the player about the captain. Many games already do this, but to a lesser extent. My goal is to see how much of a cohesive story can be crafted without explicit narration. However, I do plan to include cutscenes. These cutscenes will be styled to look like pages of a comic book, but will not include dialogue. This style of storytelling is directly inspired by games like Dark Souls and Hollow Knight. Both are considered some of the most story-filled worlds, while never fully explaining the world and plot to the player. A brief summary of my game's story is that a community of cyborgs is shunned from Earth and forced to flee to Mars. Years later, they return seeking to spread cyborg supremacy. To start this invasion, they land in the main character's home city called Orbis City, and from there, the main character must destroy hordes of these cyborgs to stop the invasion. Other than this initial background, the story will be fully open to interpretation. So, just really quickly, I wanted to explain how the story is going to affect the overall world design and map. So, this is a basic sort of diagram I drew up of what the game is going to look like and how the player is going to progress. So, this is the starting point right here. So, the player is going to go through here. This is going to be the beginning zone. And the whole idea is that Orbis City, Orbis meaning in Latin disc, so this is not going to be as much of a square as it is a more oval or round shape. And everything is going to be surrounding the cyborg invading ship in the middle. So the player is going to go through here, go down here, go into a sort of sewer or underground type area here. They'll pick up the shotgun in the first area, which is a weapon I'll have in the game. And as they progress through here, they'll find an AK-74. I am not sure, but I believe AK-47 is copyrighted, so I decided to just parody it. Going through here, this will be a more open level with much more opportunity in the fields, where the player will eventually get to go into a hovercraft of some sort and get the laser gun. And then the ship will take them all the way to the other side of the map over here, where they will then have to progress through here, where they will get a sniper rifle, possibly. Most of this is still in brainstorming stage, so all of this is subject to change, but I do hope to keep the general design the same, but then eventually the player will go into the ship itself, and then the ship will have 4 levels, hopefully, each level getting more and more difficult and focusing on each of the individual weapons and each of the individual skills you'll pick up throughout the game, until you find the final boss in the top part. And then the plan is to have the final part sort of launch into space as they retreat, and that'll be where the final boss battle is. So that is how that is another aspect of storytelling that I like in video games, is that you can really kind of integrate the story into the way gameplay works or into the way the world is built. And that's something I really wanted to emphasize in my game. And now here is a more close-up look at some of the areas of the game. So this middle one is going to be the starting area of the game, and I really wanted to keep the whole urban aspect of it intact. So you are going through a city, so it's going to look like you're going through a city. You're going to go through tons of streets and stuff, and tons of more busy areas and stuff. The more busy areas will be turned into arenas, as inspired by Doom 2016. So the plan is that you'll go through the beginning hallway, go into Arena 1, and then you'll go through and stuff. It's not going to be this linear, and in the end, this is just going to be the beginning area for tutorials and stuff. Then for this area, I wanted to take a more Metroidvania type level design, so you can go through and you can get a little sneak peek at a more advanced area. You're probably going to die through this way, but you can take that eventually. And then you can go into Area 1, where there will be a secret passage somewhere to go to the final area and skip areas 2 and 3. But if you do progress to Area 2, there will be the Area 3 will be split up into 2 zones, so you can skip the first zone from Area 2, or you can go through and just go get through the whole thing. Then there will be a secret power-up through the second, or through the final hallway, leading into the boss area. So yeah. And then here is what some of the cutscenes are going to look like. This is sort of the example of what the beginning cutscene might look like. So it'll be in a comic book style. There will be no dialogue. So you'll see Orbis City, then you'll see the sort of spaceship crashing into the middle of it. You'll see the enemies walking by. The main character, he'll load again, and then you'll be brought into the game. All the cutscenes will be in this style. If you'd like to see more of Rogue Rage, please consider subscribing and or following my Twitter. Anyways, thanks for watching.